Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 25th of May, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar index. Dollar falling again this morning, so we're still below the cloud on the short term. So we are just seeing that bearishness creeping in. Comments from the Fed, the minutes released last night, just having a little bit of an effect still, but we are bearish below the cloud in the medium term. The long-term picture is still bullish. We took at the euro, the reverse here, long-term picture is still bearish, medium term looking bullish, and the short term also still above the cloud looking bullish. So quite interesting there that we're just seeing that euro strength still kicking in. Japanese yen, we're seeing dollar strength just returning here actually. So the dollar's just strengthening here, back above the cloud. Medium term we're not quite through yet, and the long term we're not through on the lagging line, but we are on the price. But dollar strength longer term is just showing through against the yen there. Sterling just sitting below this 130 level. This is looking like a very critical level for sterling. We are just below the cloud here, but we are just holding on to the gains that we've seen. Long term, we're still bearish on the chart, and we have got still quite significant downside targets. Looking at sterling euro, we're seeing here that sterling has been falling against the euro, so euro has the upper hand, and against the Swiss franc as well, we're seeing sterling has been falling. It's the Australian dollar sitting at 173. We're bearish below the cloud here as well. So sterling just showing some relative weakness. Last night we saw the S&P 500 back through the 2400 level. So that's significant. We're just nudging last week's high, looking increasingly like we are going to break and run here. So that's good news for US stocks. The Nasdaq also much the same picture, just testing just above last week's high point. So Nasdaq also looking pretty good, and the Dow also just not quite making new highs, but looking like it will break out to the upside. The Russell 2000 is still just bearish below the cloud in the short term, but again, this is the larger market in the US, 2,000 companies. We are seeing a recovery here as well. So it looks like US stocks are going to break to the upside pretty soon. Looking at the S&P future, we're up 1/3% this morning, and the Nasdaq E-mini we're up at just over 1/3%. So signs are that we are seeing the US markets opening higher again today. FTSE 100 is holding on to these gains above 7,500, looking pretty bullish. The long-term chart looking very good, breaking to new highs. FTSE 250 again just continuing to power ahead. That's been very strong this year. And looking at the DAX, not quite above the cloud on the short-term chart, but looking bullish in the medium and long term. The Nikkei holding on to its bullish gains, and the Hang Seng as well. Shanghai back up through the cloud, so China recovering in the short term, looking a bit like a double bottom here. So that's good news. And we're seeing the Sensex is up 0.5% and looking bullish as well. The S&P Australian index still below the cloud here. One of the few stock indices that's just struggling, but the medium and long-term charts look great. Brent crude is up 0.75% this morning, so we're seeing quite a strong recovery here. Can the lagging line really struggled back last month? Will it really struggle again this month? We're just hitting the cloud now. So the key thing is this turning out to be a lower high? We'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, we're still not quite above the cloud on the medium-term chart. The short term is still looking pretty good. WTI, much the same picture as we would expect. US nat gas back below the 230 level, and we're at 222, so we're just really in these 220s, just struggling here for quite some time. Really big moves here we're seeing on cocoa down 6%, so very bearish here, bearish on all three charts, so that's looking pretty bearish. Sugar, strong recovery yesterday, but still below the cloud here in the medium and short term. Taking a look at gold, gold is sitting in the high 1250s area, 1258. We're not quite back above the cloud yet on the terms of the lagging line, but it is looking fairly like it's returning into the strength. The price is there, and the medium and long-term chart's still looking pretty good. So gold just hanging on there at the moment. Taking a look at US Treasury yields, 2.25%. Didn't move massively on that the Fed news last night, so Just the market's waiting for the next move, really. Apple still looking strong, bullish above the cloud on all three charts. Google also looking very strong, and Amazon also powering ahead. Facebook recovering through the cloud, almost back above. It's back above the 150 level now, so almost back into bullish territory. And Microsoft also now back through the cloud on the short term. So US stocks on tech especially starting to look good again. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.